proves that California police officer Barry Broad testified Derek Chauvin was justified in pinning Floyd to the ground.
It was acting with objective reasonableness.
Broad said Floyd was putting up a frantic resistance, and police don't have to wait for something bad to happen.
You just have to have a reasonable fear that somebody's either going to strike you, stab you, shoot you.
Broad testified he didn't think Chauvin or the other officers in Minneapolis used deadly force on Floyd.
I don't consider a prone control as a use of force.
Tape from Court TV. After 11 days of prosecution testimony and a mountain of video evidence, the defense is trying to deflect blame away from Chauvin. I'm Ed Donahue.
Some 10 miles outside Minneapolis, the white female police officer who shot and killed black motorist Dante Wright has resigned from the Brooklyn Center Police Department. Officer Kim Potter and Police Chief Tim Gannon both quitting today. Gannon has said he believed Potter mistakenly grabbed her gun when she was going for her taser. She can be heard on her body cam video shouting "taser, taser" just before pulling the trigger. Vice President Kamala Harris says Sunday's shooting shows a need for change.
We know that folks will keep dying if we don't fully address racial injustice and inequities in our country, from implicit bias to broken systems.
Police were trying to arrest Wright on an outstanding warrant after he had been stopped for an expired car tag. The decision on whether prosecutors will charge Potter could come as soon as tomorrow. A mixed day on Wall Street. The Nasdaq closed up more than 1%, a 167-point rise. S&P gained 13. The Dow dropped 68. This is AP News.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
AP Radio News, brought to you by Brown Nissan of Del Rio on KWMC Classic Hits 1490 AM, Del Rio, Texas.
Hey everybody, Raul Rivas here, Brown Nissan of Del Rio. 2021 has arrived, and boy, what a difference does it make, doesn't it? You know, in times of change, whether we're looking at the election, the local community, the COVID numbers, your job status, we always look for comfort and stability. And I'm here to tell you that Brown Nissan of Del Rio is still under the same management, the same vision, the same concept, the same process, the same transparency, best attainable deal, always exhausting resources to get you the best financing, focusing on the best trade-in values, and competing with the San Antonio markets when it comes to new car pricing. Give us a shot. Call us up, 775-0566. Follow us on social media. Just type hashtag Better Call Raul, or come see us in person, right on the price, right on the corner, 2300 Veterans Boulevard.
This is Classic Hits KWMC 1490, reminding you to please be safe, wear your mask, and keep social distancing.
At this time, Classic Hits KWMC 1490 presents The Huddle, the show where we debate local, collegiate, and professional sports. We invite you to call us at the studio at 830-775-3544 or 775-3591, or drop a comment on our live Facebook stream to express your views and opinions on our topics on The Huddle. So now, ready? Break.
Hey, hello everybody. It's 6:05 here at Classic Hits KWMC. 6:5 para los que nos escuchan en español. 6:5.
En la tardecita andas aquí, Memo.
Ando una tarde. Me levanté tarde el día de hoy.
There you go.
We've been up since early, working hard. And, you know, this is a special program of The Huddle. I want to thank all of our sponsors. And I want to thank the coaches for being with us también. It's Del Rio Soccer Awards. KWMC has been doing this broadcast, like we were talking with the coaches right now. When the athletic director got with us, all the stations, me and Junior were there, and we're going to say the stations, well, we won't say the station name, but we'll see. All the stations were there for sports. And they told us, the only thing we need for you guys is to be fair on all sports. So we've been trying to do our best, and you've seen that. But it's something that we've done beyond that is, ask the coaches, okay, who are the people that you think shined this year? It could be a sophomore, it could be a freshman, it could be a junior, it could be a senior. This has nothing to do with the awards the school does. It's just an award that KWMC has been doing. We did one for
football,
basketball, now soccer. And we're going to have the Queens coming up next for that award. And
ladies first, right?
Yes, ladies first.
Ladies first.
They had a good year. They had a good year. They were consistent. I think they were a great team. They had a little bit of struggle with one team, which is Alexander, but Alexander was a good team. Yeah, you could say they were first, I think, in district. So Queens were second. You can't take that away from them. It's they played their hardest. They played really good. They when they needed goals, they were there. But there's some teams they've got your number. It's like Del Rio Rams also. También Alexander. We had their number first, and then when it mattered, or not when it mattered, but when we were at the playoffs, well, it was the opposite way. So, but you play so much those teams that you already know, or they know who they have to cover. You know how they have to do. So, but we can't take that away from them. They had an awesome year. They got an awesome team. I just want you to explain to me a little bit. Are those seniors, or are most of the team going this year, leaving?
Yes. No, ours is a young team. We have only 4 seniors graduating this year. Okay. So, our, core is still there for next year. So we're looking forward, to continue going what we did this year. But yes, you're right. Like you mentioned, the Queens did an outstanding job this year. They're very consistent. And we have some difficult weeks because we have, back-to-back games, but, they stepped up, and the only team that we had trouble was Alexander. And, for some reason or other, we were, not able to beat them this year, although we did last year, but this year was a little more difficult. But, we look forward to next year, for an opportunity to face them again. But overall, very proud of our team, our Queens, outstanding job this year.
They did an awesome job, and they kept it real. I mean, the games they played were I think I like calling them more than the guys, to be honest.
¿Tú quieres gritar in the guys? I already know you. I had fun. I had fun calling the Queens.
On the guys, I have to shut off the mic sometimes because I'm used to being a soccer parent. I've been a soccer parent for 6 years with my kids. They play in a traveling team. So it's hard to stay quiet. So I had to shut up my mic. Turn around. You got to do this. But, that's just the soccer in you that the parent.
Yeah, the passion.
The passion for your kids, and you always want to, help them out. And we even had some comments on Facebook. Well, they would say, you can see that the announcer goes for the team. I was like, of course I go for the team. I'm broadcasting for the Rams. I'm not broadcasting for the other team. And I might have sounded bad for saying that, but we are
Del Rio.
We are Del Rio.
We are Del Rio.
Del Rio proud.
For the home team. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I went to go broadcast, and we would try to do our best to broadcast the games for our team, for our parents. Se colaban, como dicen. They would watch the game from there. But I mean, we don't care. I mean, as long as it did sound like if I was going for Del Rio, because I am going for Del Rio.
Exactly.
For our Queens and for our Rams, because that's who we're doing all this for. For the parents that couldn't make it. Like you were saying right now, some parents have it difficult. They can't travel. We were fortunate enough to be able to travel with our Rams, and sometimes with the Queens, we would get both games there. But this has been our first year, and it's hard. I mean, it's something that takes, going to Laredo, you actually take 12 hours of your day just to go to one game.
Oh yeah.
And if it's 2 games, well, you add 2 or 3 more hours because you got to wait there This time it was fortunate enough that it would be in the same field, one after the other sometimes, or one before the other. So we would cover both. But when it's in different fields, it's going to be difficult. So we'll see next year how we're going to have to handle that. Go in two separate, cars or travel, get more people to be able to cover more sports. But was something totally new for us. Queens did up great. And what do we have now?
Let's get going. Lo que la gente quiere ver.
Okay.
Lo que la gente quiere ver. Let's start off with what, like I said, this is all based off, obviously, not only what the statistics, the numbers that they put up, but let alone not on just Coach Rivera, but also his assistant team. Also, we have assistant coach here with us again. Your name? Coach Lerva, yes, also with us. And let's go, Memo. Let's see who is going to be the first for our offensive players. I think we are going to go with, is it Miss Emma, who you guys chose?
Yes.
Our first. Tell us a little bit about Miss Emma Riojas and why she is a nominee for Best Offensive Player.
Yes, Emma, she's a senior. Unfortunately, not going to have her next year. We wish we could. But, she's, one of the reasons that we're successful this year. She a natural scorer.
Mm-hmm.
She has that long range shot, and,
Yes.
and she did a lot for us. And she's very explosive. Once she gets the ball, she's just looking to score. So she's one of, she's been in the program for 3 years, but this year, she really, stand out more than the other years because she, came in, and even though she was tired, she was just going to work. Yes, and a very good player, very good kid. In school, she gets motivated because she's playing soccer, so she's as well in school. So
Yes.
All around good athlete.
I'm glad you say that because that's something very important. As a soccer dad, would see that sometimes. Even my son last year, he was a goalie for the Rams, but he didn't have that many good grades, so he didn't get to play much. He didn't get to play at all last year because he was struggling with one class, and he would get his grades up, but then he would bring it down, and then COVID hit, so he didn't even get to play at all. When he was eligible, he couldn't play at all. This year, he kept his grades up.
Yes.
I told him, this is your senior year. If you want us to watch it, you got to keep your grades up. Yes. And he did keep them up. But that is something very important.
Yes.
That is something that people need to understand, that it's not just the sports side of it. It's also your academic. Because if you're not doing good in academics, you can't help your Rams and your Queens.
Right.
Say for our sons or my sons, it was, we are training you. We've been training you in a traveling team so you can be a proud Ram. So you can play for your school.
Exactly.
And not to be able to play just because of grades. And that's been something that I guess haunts all coaches.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Not only in the Rams, is the Queens, is it the same
Yeah,
thing?
it's all across the board.
Okay.
UAL rule, says, you don't pass, you don't play.
Okay.
Very simple. And then that's something that we have to maintain, and we use that as a motivation, to help them out too as much as we can so that they can, because we tell them the academics is always first.
Yes.
And then sport will be second. So you have to take care of one thing first.
Yeah.
So one really quick thing about Emma, like I said, I would call the games. I would call her the Patrick Mahomes of our Queens. Why? Because she's a gunslinger.
Yes.
Esa por donde sea, ella quería que dijera Junior, aso, golazo.
Yeah.
That was Emma. I loved it
I
whenever
remember
she was in
once
the field.
she kicked one from the 30-yard line. She saw a goalie. She was way out. She kicked it right in the corner. Desde lejos, shoom! The goalie couldn't even, she didn't touch it. She put it right where it had to be, and she did an awesome job.
Good
And that was just one that I remember, but she did
Oof.
a whole bunch of them.
That's why I call her gunslinger. But also to add to the great nominees for your best offensive player, we're gonna go with Miss. Who do we have here, Coach? Is this Jaden?
Yes.
Jaden.
Jaden
Let us know a
Casillas.
little bit about Miss Jaden, Coach.
Yes, sir. Jaden Casillas is a junior. We still have one more year, and she's one of our captains. And she's been with the program for 3 years, and she, since she's a freshman, she's been outstanding.
Oh yeah.
On and off the field. She's been a great leader, and she has helped the Queens in everything she could. She's played forward, midfield, left wing, right wing. She even played defense for us sometimes. So
Utility.
Yes,
Kind of like a utility.
Those are the best ones because whenever you need them, sometimes kids do get hurt.
Yes.
And you can, they're flexible to put them wherever you need them.
Yes,
So that's
yes, and that allows the other players to also learn from different sides.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
she's a great
Jaden,
player.
Jaden also was one that was all over the field. Yes. I think we mentioned her name a lot during the broadcast, and she was, up and down the field. I think you had her as a forward sometimes.
Yes.
But she would come down and help when you needed to,
Oh, yes.
the defense would help her.
Yeah, yes, she would be everywhere.
Yes, and sticking with our last nominee, Del Rio, your last, like I said, this is so you guys to get to know who to vote for. Link will be coming up after the end of the huddle. But now, added to who do we have here as I go on the list? We have, is this Miss Cassandra? Ahorita le doy vuelta ahí, but I believe that is Miss Cassandra on there. And tell us a little bit about Miss Cassandra, Coach.
Yes, sir. Cassandra Cho, she's also a junior. She's in the same class as Jaden, and she's another one of our leaders. She's a midfielder. She also play, left wing, and then, she also play defense for us as well. So she's an all-around outstanding player as well, and especially she's one of our special players whenever we do corner kicks.
Corner kicks.
She has scored a lot of goals through headers. So
through headers. Okay.
Yes, so she's one of us that she's not scared to head the ball, and she, she
and
goes
you
all
say
in.
she is a what?
A junior.
A junior. So
Yes.
you still have her.
Yes, so we still have one more year.
One more year.
One more year. Esos, and like you said, if I remember, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, and did she hit a game winner once, I think? Or was it one of the first games that we covered, I think, that she did really good? I know that she scored.
We were really rusty in those games, so I don't remember.
Like I said, I was just starting, but
I was just trying to get the names and the numbers right on those games. So
but just to say, it was a total of 4 goals that she scored.
Yes, she scored 4 goals and 4 assists, but she also participated in a lot of different plays.
Nice.
She didn't get the assist or goal, but she helped get us to that point.
To the point. Yeah, sometimes it's not just the offense. Sometimes you need the defense or the mid.
Yes.
Sometimes they know that you have a good offense, so they bunch up on them, and you need the other people to step up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Your mid or even your defense sometimes.
Yes.
If they got a good leg on them, you can do a lot of damage with that.
And that'll round up your best offensive player. Remember, Del Rio, you guys just heard from Coach. You got Miss Emma, Jaden, and Cassandra, all of them in the running for best offensive player here on your KWMC Awards. And now, defense wins games. Defense always is. If you in any sport, a junior can say, I'm a big fan of offense, but you need that shield.
Yeah,
you need that defense. If you don't stop them, you're gonna get golazos on the other. You might score golazos, but see, if you can't stop them, you're not gonna go nowhere.
Now we're gonna go to the defense.
Yes,
okay.
Defensive. We're gonna start off with Miss Jocelyn Martinez. Jocelyn Martinez. Coach, can you tell us a little bit about Miss Jocelyn Martinez?
Of course, yeah. She's one of our seniors. She's been in the program for 4 years. She's been in varsity since freshman, so she's one of those players that she'll do whatever it takes to help the team win. She's played right defense. She's played center back. And this time we kind of changed a little bit in the back, and she was a sweeper. More security in the back, and she's played left. And she's been hurt.
She got out of some trouble sometimes.
Yes,
she would be there to get the ball, right at the end when it was going in sometimes. So
yeah, she helped a lot. She has the long range shot, and she also helps the goalkeeper, for the goal kicks.
Yeah.
But outstanding player, good work ethic, outstanding student, she's everything we can ask for, in a defender, in an athlete.
Coach, like I said, maybe y'all can maybe refresh us in here. What are a couple things you tell a defensive when you're practicing in defense in soccer? I know football and basketball, but I've never really had baseball. But what are a couple core fundamental things that you teach some defensive players?
First of all, how to read, anticipate.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the offense, and then also, learn how to have the first touch. Because that's important. Especially if we're getting attacked. And then, we're trying to get the ball out. We need to come out playing or be able to clear the ball.
Yeah.
And not just clear the ball to anywhere, but we need to clear the ball and make a pass.
Yeah.
At the same time, so we come out playing. But a lot of the things that we also teach them, head the ball out, especially in corner kicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to be able to head the ball out and be able to have stay organized in the back, because if we just go on one side and then we leave other people behind, that's when we start making mistakes. But one of the main things we look for, it's the vision that they have, and anticipation of the offense.
I think that's something very important for a defense to have vision, because some of them just kick the ball anywhere, but you can't come out playing, or you
Right.
can't do a counterattack if you just kick the ball.
Exactly.
A ver si la agarran. Ahí va, a ver
Yeah.
si- No, if you come out playing, you could do more damage than if you just kick it out. So that is something very important that a defense has to know.
Yes.
And also, I think it's be able to switch.
Switch,
If
yes.
you have to go up and cover somebody, there has to be somebody to cover your position, because if you leave that space open, somebody can come in through there. So they got to teach them how to, shift.
Yes.
If one goes to cover the guy that's coming on a break, well, somebody has to cover his position. So that's something very important too.
Do you need Mamo as an assistant?
No.
coach?
No.
You know, and you said something really cool that leads up to our second nominee for Defensive Player of the Year here at the KWMC Awards. You said if the defense shifts and leave a gap, van a dejar completely open our goalie. Our goalie, and that is our also our nominee for Best Defensive Player. I know Ms. Zoe. Coach, tell us a little bit about Zoe.
Yes, every defense needs to have someone they can trust back there, and Zoe has been that person for us, for the last 2 years. She stepped up, and she actually played volleyball before, and then she played soccer for us. So, she's been able to be a good ball handler. But overall, she's one of those athletes that she never stops working. She's always looking for ways to get better and better and better, and she has, and in the past, we haven't been scored so many goals because of her. She's helped a lot, and like every defense, they need that trust, in the back, so they can know that if we make a mistake, she has our back.
She has our back.
Because that's the last resort right there.
Yes,
that's the last resort is the goalie.
Oh yes,
and you said she came off of volleyball. Volleyball being a very handed sport. Yes, you need that.
I mean, that's the trait of a goalie. You have to be able to use your hands. Punch that ball out.
Yes.
Send it off to wherever it has to go, except inside your goal. I mean,
common volleyball moves.
Yeah.
Common volleyball
So
moves.
I bet you that helped. I bet you that helped her a lot with that.
Great pick up there. Where'd you go recruiting for that one? Where'd you go recruiting for that one? That's what I like to say. And to round up our last nominee for Best Defensive Player, we have Miss Yasmin Cardenas. Yasmin Cardenas, Coach, tell us a little bit why she's one of your top, like I said, one of our nominees for Best Defensive Player here on the KWMC Awards.
Yes, Jasmine, she's been one of our, especially this year more than before. She stepped up, her game, and she helped us out a lot on defense. She was our stopper, our first line of defense, and she stopped a lot of balls before they go over. So she had the ball, she came out playing, she pushed the whole team up, and that really, gave everybody else the trust that if it's going her direction, she'll be able to control it. And she'll be able to help us out, come out playing without anything worried.
I remember Jasmine. When my kids started playing soccer, they played together. My kids, they had to bring them down because they never played. That was their first year playing. So I think she's what, junior?
Yes, junior.
I have one son that's a junior, one son that's a senior. So they both played together. It was called the Buccaneers, and she played there. And that's where we met her, and she did the same. She was a defense, and she was really, I think, natural.
Yes.
For her for that position. So I think you put her in a good place, and we can see during the games that she'd get the ball, she know what to do, either send it off or pass it to the sides where it would go on a run and score. So yes, Yasmin Cardenas is the other nominee for
Best Defensive Player. Now to our last category. Now this last category, Del Rio, me and Memo went back and forth with some input from some coaches too. And I said, you know what? You already have your best offensive player, best defensive player. We said, hey, shall we do an outstanding? We said, well, no, they already have a first. If we have defense, offense, we got to recognize the ones that improved or the up and coming. So we said, when we talked about this next award that you guys are going to meet some nominees, we call it the Rising Stars. Porque they're the up and coming, los que le echaron ganas, instead of playing Fortnite and watching YouTube videos or watching YouTube videos on how to put makeup.
And those are the ones that you're going to be seeing in
a couple of years. So definitely those are the ones that we would like to, like I said, Coach providing us three. One of the three we're going to meet here right now, Miss Andrea Sauceda. Coach, or
Yeah, Coach Lerma is going to talk about him a little bit since he's in the middle school and they're freshmen. So she knows them very well.
There you go. Already,
Okay.
Coach.
So yes, all our rising stars are actually freshmen. I think this year we obviously have a very, very talented freshman class, and I think just in general, very good student athletes. I got to coach them at the middle school, and Andrea's no exception. She did basketball at the middle school, track. She's very, very athletic at whatever she does, and I'm so happy that she came out for soccer this year because she was a starter. She controlled that defensive mid, and unfortunately, she did get hurt because all her back-to-back games, she got hurt, so she didn't get to finish the season, but she had a huge impact on our successful season.
And I can vouch for her. She used to play with my son on a traveling team, so she had experience when they were smaller.
Yes.
She would play with boys. There was no girls team, so
there was like a co-ed? Was it like a co-ed?
Yeah, it was a co-ed.
Oh, no, hombre.
And she was the only girl there.
that.
She was the coach's daughter, and she was the only girl there, and they were hard on her. They wouldn't give her the special treatment. So
she's
you
very
could
talented.
see it. Yeah.
You could definitely see that there. And Coach, before we get to our two of the last nominees for the Rising Star, for Rising Stars, what do you foresee, Coach? There now is what do you look for that specific trait? They put in that work. What are things that you look into, like special traits? Ahorita le está echando ganas.
I think her field awareness is incredible, and I think just freshmen are 15 years old, sometimes playing against 18-year-olds at the varsity level, and they're able to stand out. If they're able to stand out so early, they just have to keep working hard and improving.
Sometimes it's just their growth, right? That doesn't let them sometimes be as physical, porque todavía están chiquitas. They haven't made that spurt yet, but of growth. But as soon as they get 10th, 11th, they start growing. They're a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
Right now, like we were saying, they're rising stars, and they are. You could see that trait in them, but they're still got a little bit more growth to do. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying soccer-wise. I'm just saying physical-wise.
Yes, physical-wise. And like I said, to come in as our second nominee for the Rising Stars, we're gonna have Miss Alexis Segura. Coach, why is she one of the nominees for Rising Stars?
So Alexis is also a freshman. I got to coach her in 7th grade, 8th grade, and now again as a freshman. And she's just very, very smart on the field. She keeps her composure, and she stepped in from one day to the next. We had a starter out, and we had a district game the next day, and then we said, hey, you're up next. And she was able to keep that spot for the remainder of the season. So she really stepped it up, and, defense is an important position, and as a freshman she did so well and executed her position very well.
You said very smart. Being on the field, as both me and Memo played sports in school, you could canicas, we both me and Memo played sports in school. You could be strong, you could be fast, you could kick a ball, but if you're not smart and you don't know the game, you won't get nowhere.
Right.
You'll have trouble.
Look, and I know I'm totally going off of probably the sport, but look at Tom Brady. He don't got muscles, and look at his age, pero acá.
Oh yeah, he knows.
He knows the game. Eso sí te digo, he knows the game. So, like I said, Miss Alexis Segura showing, like you said, Coach, you said she shared that intelligent, that good handiness in sport, and especially in soccer, to say, hey, and anticipate, run the formation that you guys run to say, okay, this best works for them, and then to step up on a district game as a freshman. Es una cosa above and beyond. And like I said, Del Rio, this is your. We're gonna round up our last candidate nominee for the Rising Stars. We're gonna have, if I could bring up here, and yes I can, is Miss Alondra Sanchez, Coach.
Yes, Alondra is also one of our freshmen. I did coach her in 7th and 8th grade, and now as a 9th grader, she did basketball for me at the middle school, but she's always been like soccer. So this year, she was one that also stepped it up as well. She was very, very flexible. Coach and I, we would put her a defensive mid or wherever we needed her, and she was always willing to go and step it up regardless of the situation. She was just awesome.
She was there
Right.
already.
She just wanted to help out. She just wanted to
Yes.
help the team out.
You know, and think about that, Del Rio. The rising stars being freshmen, most of them being asked to fill in a position that, you know, as you're a freshman, you're like, man, I just came off of a traveling team or just a 7th and 8th grade, donde no hay nada,
Right.
and asked to produce and do something because not only are you playing for the Queens, you're playing varsity ball.
Yes.
That's varsity ball. You know, as that same say, you always want your kid to be, and man, is a Ram football, horns, to put those horns on there. Ese mismo goes to any type of sport, let alone to our reinas out there.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Thank you.
Thank you very much when it comes to all that. Remember, link will be
And great
posted.
job this year for you
Eso
guys.
sí.
Appreciate it. Great job with what you did.
Any closing statements, Coach, before we take a quick break and go with our Rams?
No, just appreciate, you know, the support you guys gave us this year. You know, it was outstanding, you know, and the kids and us, we can really, you know, felt that, you know, it was motivation for us, you know, to keep going and doing our best.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything that you guys did for us, you know, we really appreciate this year, you know, and hopefully you guys continue next year.
Yes, we will. We're going to do our best to keep this going. As long as God, you know, gives us health, we'll do our best to be there. And we like we were saying, this year we didn't make any money, to be honest, but we did it more for the kids and the parents that couldn't go.
I really appreciate that.
It's hard for them to go. It's hard for them to be there. It's hard for them to travel. Sometimes they have to work. I'm saying, just to go to how long do you guys take just to go to Laredo State, for example?
You know,
12 hours?
We have to plan, you know,
12, 14 hours just to
Yes.
go to 3 hours away because you got to go. You got to be there. You got to feed them.
Yes.
You got to, you come back. You got to feed them again. So all that
No,
takes time.
It takes a lot to plan all that too, as well. So yes.
On top of COVID, and you know, that's probably one of the biggest things, one of the biggest challenges. I'm hoping Dios quiera we move forward from this.
Yes.
Hopefully get the season next season. But this is what this is all about, Del Rio. Ram and Queens and Rams. So we just went over our Queens. The soccer awards, KWMC. Remember, voting's going to start here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Award
asking
show
about that.
Saturday.
Mhm.
Award show Saturday at noon. That's who's going to take the hardware. But remember, you guys are going to be able to vote on Survey Monkey. Coaches, thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
It was great calling the game for myself. First time calling a soccer game.
Yes.
And getting into that, because Memo's like, hey, I know you're not much of a soccer guy, pero you
Pues
said,
yo
"Ay, le echo
tampoco,
ganas."
pero-
You know, como que tú tampoco.
No.
Ya te want to hire
Sí,
you as
but it's not
assistant
the
coach.
same when you yell at your son.
But you know, it was funny because Coach and I would like to go back and watch those games. 'Cause
Yes.
we like the way you call him. So let me go watch the game.
Yes, we
I
do.
wanted
We
to watch
listen.
it.
Oh my God,
you
that's
guys
so
instead of
embarrassing.
Huddle. 'Cause we like the way you guys narrated the
sports
game and everything.
commentary,
Yeah,
go
so,
ahead.
you guys did a good job.
Thank you.
A ver,
Thank you.
¿cuántas prescriptions y de 1-800 contact Memo para los refs? ¿Cuántas?
Yeah.
Muchas. Guys,
Yes,
Memo,
sir.
take us to a quick commercial
We're gonna go
break,
to a quick
and we'll be
commercial
right
break,
back
and we'll
with
be
the
right back.
Ram side.
With mortgage rates at an all-time low, it's time to open the door to your new home with Amistad Mortgage inside Amistad Bank, voted #1 mortgage lender in Del Rio. Call Aida or Claudia to set up an appointment at 830-778-2528. Take advantage of the mobile app in your app store today for mobile banking needs. So bank smart, bank local, bank Amistad Bank in Del Rio.
Hello, Del Rio. This is Tony Hernandez with Amistad Bank, here supporting our Rams and Queens athletics. Go Rams, go!
Off-Road Recovery, located at 602 East 15th Street. Where there's no tire too big or too small, we do them all. Anytime, any place, and any size. We're on call 24/7. Off-Road Recovery is also a great place to get wheels and tires. So if your ride is down for the count, call Off-Road Recovery at 830-765-5851. Off-Road Recovery, 602 East 15th Street.
Hey everybody, Raul Rivas here, Brown Nissan of Del Rio. 2021 has arrived, and boy, what a difference does it make, doesn't it? You know, in times of change, whether we're looking at the election, the local community, the COVID numbers, your job status, we always look for comfort and stability. And I'm here to tell you that Brown Nissan of Del Rio is still under the same management, The same vision, the same concept, the same process, the same transparency, best attainable deal, always exhausting resources to get you the best financing, focusing on the best trade-in values, and competing with the San Antonio markets when it comes to new car pricing. Give us a shot. Call us up, 775-0566. Follow us on social media. Just type hashtag Better Call Raul or come see us in person, right on the price, right on the corner, 2300 Veterans Boulevard.
United Medical Centers is proud to announce the addition of Dr. John Lindsay, MD. Dr. Lindsay practices family medicine and is located at the 913 South Main Street office. For appointments, call 830-774-5534. Dr. Lindsay will be accepting appointments Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Wanting to look your best? Come by the Daniels Barbershop, Del Rio's only traditional barbershop, offering tapered cuts, flat tops, and Del Rio's only true razor fades. We are located at 204 Susie Street, or call us at 830-313-7013 for any info. We also offer Suavecito hair products for that style and hold. So look your best this holiday season with a haircut from Daniels Barbershop. And remember, Del Rio, either wait for the best or settle for the rest.
Is that refrigerator, dishwasher, or even washer and dryer giving you problems? Well, there's one place to call. Big Dave's Appliance Repair. Give them a call at 830-719-2234 or stop by 400 East 5th Street here in Del Rio. Big Dave's Appliance Repair also repairs all residential and commercial appliances and also serving the surrounding cities. Give them a call. So if you have appliance repair needs, there's only one name to call. That is Big Dave's Appliance Repair.
Crisp. The colors vibrant. Your friends and family impressed. Spring is in full swing at the Ashley Home Store Spring Semi-Annual Sale. Get fresh styles with low prices or 0% interest for 72 months. Going on now at spring season to its fullest with a new mattress from Ashley Home Store. The Spring Semi-Annual Mattress Sale is going on now. Save up to $1,000 on select Ashley Sleep, Groove, and Sealy Posturepedic. Shop and save today. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Located here in Del Rio at 504 East 10th Street.
Okay, we're back, guys. Ahora sí, sorry for that. 6:37, it's actually 6:38 here at Classic Kids KWMC. Guillermo Garza along with Javier Martinez. Now we have some special guests for you guys, but now we have the Rams side of soccer.
Guys,
Coaches, ¿cómo están, Coach?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Coach Rivas.
Ramos,
perdón, Ramos.
Pretty good.
Rivas era el de ahorita, ¿verdad? Ramos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, guys,
¿Cómo
and
están?
welcome.
Good?
Yes.
Yeah, doing great. I mean, we're here. You know, we had a good season, and now we get to talk about the kids, so we're excited about that.
Talk about the kids. Talk about, we know you posted some awards that they got through the school.
Yes.
But now we're going to do the KWMC awards. We asked you guys who you thought, so we're going to give those out, and you're just going to give a little bit of explanation of why, why him, why that person, or why those three, so people will be able to choose one. We're not going to have anything to do with that. We don't control the system. People are going to be able to go out and vote for whoever they think is the best one.
Yes, that's why we have this show right now, the nominations, so you guys get to know who you want to vote for.
Defense?
Yeah, we'll go offense.
Okay.
Remember, the link is up already. Ya acabamos con Queens, so it's only fair that we put the link up. You go on our Facebook. Los que nos están mirando en Facebook, by all means, just refresh it. You'll see it at the top of our page. That's where we're going to send you a link to where you can vote for your, like I said, the Queens, and you're about to know the Rams. So also thank you to everybody watching us on YouTube and on the radio. Pero ahora sí, it's time for some Rams. It's time for some Rams. Vemos con quién comenzamos. Vamos a comenzar primero with offense. And when we speak about offense, Coach, tell us a little bit of why Angel Alderete is one of our nominees for best offensive player.
Sure. Well, first of all, if you look at Angel and what he's done in the past, he's been a 4-year letterman since he was freshman, and he's a player.
Yes.
Yeah, since freshman, and since he's a player that when you pull out of the game, that your game changes, and he is a critical component, and that's why he was been named. He's got lots of awards under him. MVP for co-MVP last year, Offensive Player of the Year for the district, MVP for our district this year, locally, and he's a scorer. He's a assist guy. He's a defender. He'll run all day. He's just an all-around good player, and more than anything, just great attitude and is yes sir, let's get after it kind of person. And he speaks with his actions. He don't speak very much sometimes.
Yeah,
he's quiet.
Calladón,
yeah, yes. But when he gets out there, once he starts getting relaxed, he starts playing. I know I had a conversation with him a while back, and he says, "Coach, I get nervous at the beginning of every game." And sometimes you can't tell, but he does. Yeah. But once the game gets going, he gets settled in, and that's
he's got really good feet on him too, right?
Yeah, he's got great.
He can run.
Oh my God,
and he can control the ball.
Well, what he's got specifically, what I think a lot of defenders have a problem with him is that he'll cut on a dime, and they just keep going, and he'll just turn on them, and he can keep cutting on them and just accelerate quickly, and which is a great advantage. If you're an attacking player and someone who wants to possess the ball.
You're right on
a
that.
Cut of a dime.
Yes.
Coach, explain to us what a cut is. Así so people... Explain to our people on the radio and right now what a cut is. He says cut of a dime. You talk to me in football, that's like a juke, a spin. What are we looking at when you say a cut?
That's what pretty much is. A cut, you're going one way.
And you
cut
switch
to
it
the
up.
other. Yeah, you cut to the other side. And he did that a lot. And, man, he can take on people until they either foul him or he makes a play
or he gets
score.
doubled. And the good thing, I'm going to put my tense in there, but he also has good vision. So if he sees he's getting, 2 or 3 defenders on him, he could just switch it up right away and send it to, another forward was Luis Estrada or who else do we have? Manny. Emmanuel, so he could send it to any of them.
And the teams knew that because they would double team him, so he would free up other
players.
And then that's when we could get some scores in there. Yeah.
So the Legion of Zoom is not made out of just one person. So definitely the offense to vote for your best offensive player. We're just not picking one. Definitely there's 3, and one of the 3 here that you guys are going to get to meet and get to know a little bit about is now Mr. Emmanuel Vela.
Yeah.
Tell us, Manny.
De cariño le dicen Manny, Emmanuel Vela.
Dicen
Yo le
Manny.
digo quieren play por el pelo que tiene, así medio de cariño. Lo conozco. He's Memo's friend for a long time. And I always call him Kid and Play because of the hair that he's kind of got.
The girls had a gunslinger, right? It was Emma. I would call him also the Patrick Mahomes of soccer.
He had some pretty good goals.
He did, absolutely. He had some critical goals that changed the direction of our game winners. He's a lefty, and so he was a player that just gave it his all. He'll run up and down that wing position, which is an incredibly hard position to play. For someone who doesn't get substituted at all, I don't think we looked at him and say, "Hey, man, he's tired. We need him. We need to come give him a break." He played his heart out. He's in great physical condition, running up and down that field to defend, to attack. He knew what to do. He knew how to attack. And once this year, I think that he really started to put the pieces together a little bit more. And then that's what was working for him. I think he came out. I think he was number 2, or he might have been number 1 leading scorer. I think he had a second right under. But he was up by 1 goal, I think.
Yeah.
But I think he even had a hat trick one day.
Yeah, he did against Alexander. And we were losing that game 3-1. So he came out with 3 goals, and we were able to come out with 4-3 winning. He even had a chilena on that one, or a bicycle kick or something like that, which he came out. So el siguiente es Emmanuel Vela. So we have Ángel Alderete and Emmanuel Kidden Play Vela.
Kidden Play. Also, now to end up your category for best offensive player, we're going to have Mr. Luis Estrada. Coach, why is he the last canon nominee for best offensive player for the KWMC Awards?
Well, Luis was the position that he plays is incredibly hard. First of all, in the midfield position, because you got to be involved in the attack and also come back on the defend in the middle, and so we used him in the middle, and he was a smart player in the middle for us, and he was able to find and have some combinations with Angel. In the end, we always moved him up to the forward position, which when we needed more of an attack. It created some different opportunities and different attacks that were successful for us. And so that was critical for us. And he's just one of those players that, when you put him in the midfielder, you know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to give it his all, and he's going to work hard. And he's such a passionate player. He hates to lose. He wanted to win. He wanted to win. And he was, let's go to work kind of player. And let's get after it and make something happen. And that was his attitude the entire way, knowing that this is his senior year, and he really felt it. And I think, really most of the seniors felt that way the entire season. Every last game, probably the last 5 games, they felt this could be our last game because being COVID. And so he was one of those that understood that and, made the difference.
Yes, leave it out in the field. Así le dijimos. You gotta leave it out in the field every day, porque pues cuando está el Cocoví nomás ahí al lado mirándonos, you never know when it's gonna come. When
out your way,
Yeah, so definitely that rounds up
The offense is Ángel Alderete, Emmanuel Vela, and Luis Estrada. Now we're going to go to the defense side.
Yes, because
the
defense wins games, Memo.
Yeah.
Defense wins games, porque pueden echar golazos those 3 gentlemen. Pero si no los pueden parar el otro equipo, pues te las van a meter golazos, azos, en el otro lado.
Yeah. So our first one, we have Noé Trujillo.
Wow. Man, what a monster of a player Noé has been for us, honestly. Noé, I mean, aside from being a good-sized kid, great attitude, all academic. So, got to throw that out there because we appreciate him being, I think he's ranked 23 out of his class out of 540. But as a player, man, you just love the way he just started playing and coming out. Big physical guy, can possess the ball. He came out and was great on the headers. I think he scored a critical one as well on one that we needed that he headed in that I recall. But he's got a great strike. We used him as a defense, but we did put him up one time. I think it was against Nixon on top. We needed something a little different, someone that could possess the ball, and we put him up on top. Yeah. And he knew what to do. He struck the ball hard, and I think the keeper put a hand on it, but it's still winning.
Yeah.
And so he's one of those players that
you could say he's like the second goalie because he would be right there and he would help the goalie stop most of those coming in. So yeah,
he was the dead center on the defensive line.
The wall there, right there in the middle.
Held that whole.
But he was also a player that you could switch around to the forward position. Also,
and we didn't do that a lot, But me coming to mind is just thinking about how great of a kick he has from, when we know he was kicking it, either it was a free kick to put it on target, on goal, or it's a goal kick, or even for a shot. That I felt like, if I put him at the midfield position, which I would have loved to probably seen a little bit more, but just the dynamics that I saw, we weren't going to put him there very often. Because things were working out. I just think he always had a great shot with power. He's a power.
He's got a good leg on him.
He's got a great leg on him. Yeah.
Power.
Yes.
And
Noé Trujillo is your first defense player that we have, and we're gonna go to the second one. And the second one is Christian Perez. What can you say about Christian?
Oh man, you can't say Christian Perez without laughing and thinking about cheese at this nickname.
What's his cheese?
We don't know why we
what's
call
his nickname?
We don't know cheese.
Queso?
Yeah, we call him
Queso.
And I asked him once, and he said Felipe or Luis Estrada gave him that, but he didn't want to tell me why. I was like, well, I don't know.
Yo pensaba, porque tiene una sonrisa colgate o qué, porque pues no está sonriendo en la foto.
That's not a very good picture of him.
You tell me cheese. I'm like, pues cheese.
No. He's a character, So we love cheese, cheesecakes. We call them different names out there in the field. But he's a player that, when we found out where their attacking strong player was on, we moved him like
that way.
Their number 2 teams on there, that side, number 7, whatever it was.
Go get them.
Go to that side.
Don't let them go.
Switch, exactly. Go to that side. They're attacking us on that side. Get over there. One game, I think we switched it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Get over here.
Get over here.
Go to that side. Come over here.
Yes, coach. And he goes out there. But, he really has become a better defender over the years, better ball handler. And so we knew that he can handle his own physically. He became a smarter player. He can handle, balls that are received in tight space. So we knew that he was someone that we could put on the sides, on the left or right back, and he was going to be solid, and we were going to stop a lot of the opponents and frustrate him at least, and make him change their game. And he was critical to that strategy.
Okay,
Coach.
Yes.
Sorry,
you gotta know. You gotta tell me something about cheese. Queso out there también.
His attitude was amazing.
Yeah.
He was always like, Coach, let me play forward. Like, no, Cristiano. We need you in the back because you can play defense real well.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, Coach, let me play defense.
Quiero meter gol.
I think those are the days that his girlfriends were showing.
Yeah.
So he wanted to show off, but we needed him in defense, and he did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So he played amazing.
Quería echar goles cuando estaban ahí para el TikTok y todo, pero our next nominee for best defensive player, a manzana that comes from the same árbol que está aquí.
I'm not gonna say nothing here.
Aquí we all know Mr. Roberto Garza. Tell us a little bit about Beto.
Beto, wow. Beto is shaping up to be a great player. I can't, he doesn't make a lot of errors. He's just solid. Great.
He made a few, and I can tell him. I can tell you right now.
Te escucharon, Memo, cuando estaba. No, nomás you can tell they heard you.
No,
But for him being young, coming up and filling in a role, I think he did a fantastic job. He's a great attitude kid.
Coachable, very coachable.
Very coachable. He's yes sir, no sir. We don't have to worry about him. And I know he's serious about soccer. Even after, I know he's been going to the gym. I see him recently at Planet Fitness. He's serious.
Yes.
So to me, the mentality that tells you a lot about this kid and what he wants to do. He's already concentrating, staying physical, working towards the future. So I can't say enough about Beto. He's a good kid, and we're happy, obviously, that he's going to be back for us. And
One more year.
He's going to be a leader for us.
Yes, and that's going to round up. Memo, round us up the best defensive player. Who can they vote for?
We have Noé Trujillo, Cristian Perez, and we have Roberto Garza. So you guys are going to be able to vote for those in a couple of more minutes. As soon as we finish this, we've got one more category, which is our rising star.
Yes,
those are the newcomers that the coaches think that are going to be a great asset for the Rams soccer team. So we're going to have...
let's go first with Mr. Eli, rising star. Los que miran ahí, definitely up and comers.
Okay.
Tell us why Mr. Eli is considered one of these nominees for KWMC's Rising Star Award.
Well, first of all, Eli is a freshman. Coming on to handle the pressure at the varsity level is not easy to do. You can come on and then you could not perform well, basically intimidated by the bigger, faster, and stronger guys that are on the other team. And he didn't come on that way. He always had the mentality that he knew he could play, and he was going to show it. And he was learning as we went along. He's still obviously in the learning process of what we want from him. He was a player that we put him on the point, and he would pressure, and he would not nonstop. Like we had, at times we have to tell him, like, hey, listen, don't get yourself tired.
Yeah.
Just
we still got another half to go. Yeah.
Right. Just pressure. But he could probably last the entire game that way. Yeah. I think he was number one, number two, cross country runner. So it tells you a lot from his stamina, his ability, to do that.
So like I said, this is the Rising Star category, and to meet our next Rising Star, the future, to Don, our varsity here, we're gonna go Julian Rivera. Julian Rivera, coach, tell us a little bit about why Julian Rivera. You see him as a rising star here on for our KWMC awards?
Well, the goalkeeper position is a tough position, first of all. We're always going to play the best goalkeeper and what's best for the team. And Julian understood that. It's a hard thing to sit on the bench and not play. I know Memo was there at some points
behind, yeah.
and he knows that he's not number one at that time. But it's you're paying your dues, and you got to wait for your time. And in time, you just keep coming to practice and working. And for us, we were astonished at the improvement he was making over the season. He had some incredible saves during our practices. He was doing some really good things that made us feel good. Like, wow, did you see that stop? That it was impressive to see that. I think that just probably the inexperience, and there's a few other aspects that we want him to get better at, and that's what we're working with him. But he's going to be the guy, I think, for next year. He's got some big shoes to fill in that role. And I know he's got the right attitude, and I think he understands, what's coming.
What's coming for him next year. Yeah. So he'll be our goalie for next year if God permits, and we have a season and all everything goes as planned. So we'll be rooting for him next year. Who do we have?
Yes, last one. We just rounded up and said it. La misma manzana del árbol that está contestando ahí. Why is he also a rising star here, Coach?
I already spoke on him earlier.
Yeah.
So I'll just
now we need.
Okay, I can talk about Beto. Beto is very, like I said, is very coachable. He started playing as a right back, which a right back and center back is two way different positions. Yeah, they're defensive, but they're way different. So we told Memo, like, hey, we need you in the middle as a center defender. And he was like, okay, coach, I'll do it. We worked with him, and he had Noe by his side,
to learn from him for next year.
Pointers,
right?
yeah. And man, he did amazing. He saved some goals.
Yeah.
There were dangerous balls, and he saved them. He dove, he slid, and he was there to help us out. So we're glad that we're gonna have him again next year.
So those are your rising stars. You can vote for him. You'll be able to vote for him in a bit. We have Eli Lozoya. He's a freshman. We have Julian Rivera. If I'm not mistaken, he's a junior. And we have Roberto Garza with a junior. Y yo no tuve nada que ver aquí. No me van a decir que yo escogí nada.
You see the text message that they sent us. Really. Like I said, we've done football, basketball, and now rounding up with soccer. This is all on. To give you guys that, remember, the link is up already. Definitely, you guys can start voting now. But before we leave, coaches, I want to ask y'all this. It was big to go on to the rounds of playoffs. Never. And I'm going to say this because I know it was. We had a chance to host a playoff game if you and the other coach would have elected to flip.
We did. Which one are you talking about?
The last one.
Was it
the last one or the first one?
The first one.
The first one was.
We lost it.
Okay, so you see, so we would have been able to hold a playoff game, which has never been in Walter Leverman Stadium. Obviously, la peseta de Harvey Two-Face no llegó a nuestro lado, pero it would have been there.
Yeah, but I prefer a neutral zone, and I think the coaches do too.
We flip home and home against Alexander. I said, let's do it. But they would not do it.
They would not do it.
I stop. There, we clear it up now, Memo.
That's good. I'm
glad. But how was the atmosphere from the kids advancing to that second round of playoffs, Coach? How was it in the bus? How was it at practice?
Well, we as coaches love, the ride, and what it was, the attention, with all the gifts, the teachers, the little goodie bags, and the well wishes, but from a coaching's perspective, we always try to just focus on practice, focus on the next game, one game at a time. And that was our whole attitude, and say, hey, look, just remain humble. You're doing great, but let's just keep going. And that's our perspective as a coach to put out there for the kids so they can remain focused, because we don't want them to be overwhelmed by what was happening around them. Like, it's good, but let's just keep the ride going. And so, but it was exciting, obviously, with the parents and the fans.
But it was tiring also for the kids, right? Because it was 2 games almost per week.
Oh,
so
my
traveling.
One week we had
4 games.
4 games.
4 games.
Yeah. And then the
And
next
we
week
had
there was
about
3.
6 games because we had to do Queens and Rams and Queens and Rams.
Yeah.
We have a question. It says here, we have Antonio Rodriguez. He wants to congratulate you for a great, season. But he has a question. What do you expect for next year?
Well, for next year,
that'll be our last question for
Sure. Well, we always expect to win. First of all, we don't go out there to lose and to be second or whatever. We want to be as high in the playoffs and number 1 position so we can be in the playoffs. So that's number 1. Okay. With the players that are coming back, we expect them to step up and fill those roles that were left by the seniors. And so if the players come in and they can fill them and take it to heart and serious and pass their classes, I think we can reproduce. Yeah.
Very important. You said something, pass their classes, because this year we had a lot of kids that didn't pass.
Right.
And I understand the situation, COVID and all that, but we need them to pass next year because we do need most of them that didn't pass this year to help us next year.
Right. And
am I right?
That's exactly right. I mean, there's something to be said also, by the way. We didn't have a lot of substitution at some point in the bench. We had a few players, but we didn't have traditionally we carry 21 to 23 players, and COVID and different issues kept us small. And the team was on the field is a team that pretty much was on there probably 80% of the time. And so and we expect that the players coming back are to play at a higher level than this year.
Okay. Well, want to thank you first of all for doing a great job this year. Congratulations on your
accomplishment.
But you also got Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year.
Coach of the
Year.
Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. So congratulations on that.
Coach of the Year.
Good luck on next year. We'll be there rooting for you guys. We won't be in the Booster Club anymore. We'll be more on the. Yeah, but it's hard to do broadcast, and so I think I'm going to focus more on the broadcast so we can get all the games out. I know parents liked it a lot, even from the other teams.
That's the other thing. They use it as a scouting system for us.
Yes,
yeah.
We do. We are going to do that next year. We're going to leave it for a little bit and then take it off.
Right.
But we did it for most of the parents that couldn't cross. Some of our kids are from Mexico that were born here and they were able to study here, and their parents, because they can't let them. It's not that they can't cross; they have their visa, but they can't because of the laws that are going now. But we did that for them, and we'll see you guys next year. And if we can stay in the booster, we'll try to do both. We'll see about that.
Yes,
Again, congratulations to Ms. Jennifer. I think that this is going to be here last year.
No.
Hope not. Hope we can stay one more year, but we'll see. We'll see if we can convince her. That's going to be it for us.
Remember, survey is up now. Go on our Facebook page, KWMC 1490. It is right there. As soon as you just scrolled, it'll be the first thing that says vote, vote, vote. The link takes you less than a minute, Del Rio. Share it with your friends, students, with your peers. Voting started now. Award show Saturday at noon.
Yes.
Saturday at noon is when these kids will receive the hardware. Also, a special award will be given out. I'm just going to leave it at that you guys need to definitely tune in for. So thank you, Memo. Thank you to the coaches, also the Queens coaches that came out this afternoon.
Yes, thank you.